Yes, that is correct. This project is not in my district. It's in Commissioner Fountain's district. He has been gracious in sharing some of the effort in joining him in pushing on this project. I have, as you know, been pushing on these transportation projects in the North End with support of my fellow commissioners for a long time now. I believe that the time has come for an earnest discussion about an eastern bypass alignment around the city of Crestview. Pick any Thursday afternoon for the thousands and thousands of folks who work on Eglin Air Force Base and who find affordable housing in a great community and a good place to live in the north end of the county, and you'll join them somewhere between the 123 overpass and the Duke Field flyover for a nice little tailgate party. And you hang out and you cruise along, listen to your music, you shout back and forth in the windows. Sometimes cursing. Everybody gets a lot of time to catch up on Facebook. As you sit in the traffic jam waiting for the privilege to go home each day. As I understanding in a recent meeting with a base commander, Mr. Hofstede tells me that they consider traffic challenges and access to the base and base readiness as one of the preeminent issues facing that base at this point in time. And so if we want to adequately position that base to protect it from future rounds of BRAC, we got to make sure that it can preserve mission readiness. And if we do not preserve mission readiness on that base, then we are going to put it at risk. And so it's a critical project. Moving traffic in and around Crestview is an absolutely critical project. I was devastated to learn at the TPO, which I couldn't be at last week, that we seem to scatter and run. When we had one bureaucrat at a very low level, a disgruntled former Okaloosa County employee who is made it his mission in life to try and kill any future transportation projects in North Okaloosa County, is now at the TPO trying to, again, knock down the bypass process, and we can't seem to remain coordinated. And so what I think we need out of this commission today is clear direction that we are committed, absolutely committed, to working with DOT, to working with Triumph, to working with the federal government, and to working with our partners at Eglin Air Force Base to ensure that we can maintain their mission readiness and to ensure that we can provide the traffic infrastructure that is absolutely necessary to allow for the continued economic development of Okaloosa County. And so if we can get that as a consensus, then our staff can take off to work. We'll continue the TPO process. In a few short months' time, we'll have a phenomenal project to bring back to submit to Triumph in a bypass eastern alignment around the city of Crestview. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Boyles, I have really put up with you this afternoon, but I'm going to say what I really feel. That was outrageous, what you just said. Let me just talk a little bit about what happened. Mr. Hofstede and I reached out to the commander in the base, and he brought together his top lieutenants. Among one was one gentleman that you just spoke of in a very degrading and demeaning and condescending way. He has worked hard for this county. Now, let me just tell you what happened. From my point of view, this is a complicated issue for the base and for our community. As has been said many times, if the base changes its mission and leaves us, we don't need to build these roads. How we come to a consensus is not by degrading other people or by calling them names or being demeaning, but by working with the base staff. We heard one thing. Mr. Hofstede and I left thinking victory. We've got this right. We've got this possible East Pass, maybe way view to go. But we got another point of view that was presented not only at the TPO, but at the Tri-County Partnership. We're we're a little bit confused, but the way to go about this is to go back and to talk with the military, to talk with our partners here. We don't want to cause a problem between the county commission and Eglin Air Force Base. I thought the general was very much in favor of trying to work with us. He talked about flex time. He talked about trying to help us get federal funding for roads. He made an offer to speak with the governor. There was a lot of consensus. It did appear that the gentleman who spoke, who also was a former employee from our area but went on to Eglin to work, was speaking for the general, but we're not clear on that. And Mr. Hofstede has reached out. We have not heard anything back. But our job as a body is to work for the good of the community, not to demean somebody who perhaps was delivering what the general thought. After we left the room, maybe they all got together and said, we just can't do this eastern bypass. We don't know that. But we need to go back hat in hand, sit down and talk. And this is not going to get us where we need to go. Just because you think we need to go the eastern bypass may not be what we need to do. That is one solution. It looks like a good solution, but it may not be, and we can't do it without the military. So I normally don't say so much, but I'm really frustrated with you today. I don't know what your attitude is, but stop it. The citizens of our county deserve more. Grow up. It's time.
Madam Chair, a brief rebuttal, if I may, and I won't get in a back and forth with you. What I'll say is that my citizens expect and deserve progress out of this commission. And niceties and pleasantries and everyone leaving these meetings feeling good and happy will not produce infrastructure for my citizens. It will not produce economic development. It will not produce a higher quality of life for my citizens. I will come to work every day, and I will work determinedly to make sure that we have those things for my citizens. And if that offends anyone, if that steps on your toes, Madam Chair, then I most humbly apologize, but you should not expect any change in course from me. I have one speed, and it's full speed, and I have one direction, and that's straight ahead. And that's where I will take this county, and you can go with us, or you can stay behind, but I believe that we have a commission that's dedicated to doing the right thing and to growing this county and to providing that quality of life that our citizens expect. Thank you, Madam Chair.